Once upon a time where we
smoke some trees,
act funny,
talk fairy tale history,
and try not to get drunk.
All right, well, hey, welcome to another episode of Blunts Upon a Time. I am Johnny Hauser, and I'm here with my friends and co-hosts as always. To my right, Jimmy Bain, and to his right, Denzel Whitehead.
What's up?
Good to have you guys again. And for those of us watching, you'll see our guest. You may already recognize him. If not, I'm sure you'll recognize his dulcet tones. The very famous radio personality, JoJo Girard. Welcome, JoJo.
Now I feel like I have to put my radio voice in.
Give you a little applause there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, get into it. So yes, welcome and thank you for being here, JoJo. You are a West Michigan local, very funny guy, comedian. As I said, radio personality, a man of many talents. Whatever I'm leaving out, feel free to add in.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. He's like, nothing.
Do I need to add more? Would you like me to continue to embellish?
This summer I worked at a bike shop.
You did? Oh, nice. Yeah, like a bicycle shop or like the bike shop? That could be a gay bar, maybe.
Yeah,
too.
no.
Like, either way. I'm not judging either way, I'll tell you. There's good money in both businesses. So, all right. Well, welcome. What would you like us to plug for? You got anything coming up? Any shows? Anything going on?
No, I just wanted to thank you for asking because I have nothing going on with my life. And I'm glad that you guys have hope in me and faith in me that I might have something to plug.
Hey, that's well. How about this? Is there anywhere that people can go to check out whatever you do have going on? You got a Facebook, website, anything like that?
I do have a Facebook, JoJo Girard. And
JoJo Girard.
I'm also on, I guess it's X now. Yeah.
Oh, X. Yeah.
It's pronounced
formerly.
shit.
Yeah, it's shit platform. Yeah, that's what. I think that's the official
the
pronunciation.
gutter.
Yeah.
I did have a big moment in my life yesterday. I applied for Social Security. So
Oh,
I'm really excited.
congratulations!
Really excited.
Yeah. So, like, are you 62 or do you
welcome.
have a kidney disability? Like, which is it?
I'll be 65 in December.
All right, so you waited a few years, getting a little extra.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah. I used to be in finance. I can help you plan for that later. Definitely while we're high. That's when I do my best work.
After that conversation, I don't need to ask. You probably don't have Instagram.
I do.
No,
I
Insta-
do.
You have Instagram?
Oh.
Yeah, you do actually, because I
Only
tagged
'cause
you already.
Only because my kids are on there. That's why.
Yeah, I tagged you.
You gotta keep an eye on the kids.
I tagged you earlier today, so I found you on Instagram. So I'll put all that information up on the screen so that people can see that and check you out. And when I'm sure you do have something coming up, it'll be not too long before that happens, and they'll be able to check that out. So
Eventually.
yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it'll be sooner rather than later. You're a very funny guy, and you got a lot of talents. So you'll have some stuff going on. So again, thank you so much for being here.
All right.
So as normally, I'm going to go ahead and reveal what the story is that we're going to be discussing today. For those of you that may never checked in with us before, we do go back and find the original text of the story by the original authors. So this week we will be discussing the story, the tale of the Fitcher's bird. The Fitcher's bird.
Sounds
Is a Fitcher?
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah.
Because I
Sounds
listened real
Irish.
hard, and you didn't say Fisher.
Nope, Fitcher. Fitcher, as in pitcher, but starting with F as in Frank. Fitcher.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like I heard the
Fitcher's
pronunciation.
bird. Yeah.
I didn't hear a definition.
Nope, we'll get there. So the Fitcher's Bird, this is a Grimm Brothers fairy tale. This is by the Brothers Grimm.
No.
Yeah. So again, if you have listened before, you know that the Brothers Grimm and the German fairy tales in general are pretty fucked up.
Somebody go get killed.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's a minimum of several people.
Someone's going to get fitched.
Yeah. Straight up fitching. There's going to be so many fitchings in there.
Gonna Fitch so hard.
So, again, if you've never heard before, now the Brothers Grimm, we've done many of their fairy tales over the course of the last couple seasons. They have a lot of them, but most of their tales, which were first published in 1812, was in a collection that they did. So the vast majority of their tales, they even admitted, were not original stories that they authored themselves, but were often tales that they heard growing up in Germany, or they collected from other people from other cultures that said, share your tales with us. They saw the importance, though, of putting all these tales in a collection because they believed that the best history to show what a culture was going through was to preserve the tales and the fairy tales and the lessons of the time. So they thought it was important to put them in a collection, and obviously they're credited with a lot of fairy tales as we know them now because they popularized them by collecting them that way.
So what you're saying is Germany was going through some shit at that point in
yeah,
time.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
They were building towards
1812,
something.
yeah. We don't really
I don't really know what.
This is
there was
the
some
tone.
soft allusions allusions to some foreboding future, perhaps. Yeah.
I wonder what that might have been.
Let me put it this way: they weren't making themselves sound like the peaceful conquerors of the world in their fairy tales, as you'll soon find out. So, as I said, this tale is The Fitcher's Bird by the Brothers Grimm, written in 1812.
Hey, you ever take a fitch so bad that birds show up?
Or maybe you scatter the birds.
You ever fished a bird like right
If the birds show up or flee, you've done good work.
I always thought fitching was something the bird did to me. So
Maybe you're doing it wrong. All right, so here we go. So The Fitcher's Bird by the Brothers Grimm, 1812. Once upon a time, there was a sorcerer who disguised himself as a poor man, went begging from house to house, and captured beautiful girls.
Did he really disguise? I mean, how lucrative is sorcery?
Well, you're going to say it worked because he's out there snatching up beautiful girls.
When I think of a sorcerer, like I mostly he looks like a bum.
Yeah, no, he's basically a door-to-door old man Ted Bundy.
And another thing is, who pretends to be poor? Why
This
is
sorcerer,
that a thing?
well, you're going to find out why.
All right,
This is
off
context,
to
yeah.
a fucking rocky start. Like he instantly opens up with kidnapping. No,
Yep,
no,
beautiful
no, like, no
girls.
spit, no lube, no nothing. Just fucking kidnap.
Fraud and kidnapping.
To make matters better, no one knew where he took them, for none of them ever returned.
Tough.
One day, he came to the door of a man who had 3 beautiful daughters.
Yeah, because
Why they say it's so exuberant?
Like, that seems to, you know what? Ooh, that seems to be the most common moral of any fairy tale: is don't have hot daughters. Nothing ever good ever happens.
Yeah.
So one day,
what the fuck was going on in Germany? That it's like, oh yeah, the best way to win over hot women is to dress as a
it was an
poor
old beggar.
person.
You're gonna find out. Yeah. So
He's not winning him over.
So this dude, the sorcerer.
God, you're right. Okay, never mind.
The sorcerer appears to be a poor, weak beggar, and he carried a pack basket on his back, as though he wanted to collect some benevolent offerings in it. He asked for a bit to eat, and when the oldest daughter came out to give him a piece of bread, he simply touched her, and she was forced to jump into his pack basket. So apparently he just Pied Piper her by touching and took over her mind. And
is that
jumped in.
fitching?
That might be fitching. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it. So then he hurried away with powerful strides and carried her to his house, which stood in the middle of a dark forest, as it always does in Germany. So even the Battle of the Bulge was in a dark forest. Everything was splendid in the house, and he gave her everything that she wanted. He said, "My dear, you will like it here with me. You will have everything that your heart desires." So it doesn't sound so bad.
Except for your family and your
freedom.
home and freedom. You will have
Other
everything.
than that, you're going to get everything you want.
I'll take care of you, but you just can't leave. Ever.
It's what they say on your first day in prison, I think, too. It'd be like, hey, you get 3 hots and a cup, and nobody gets to leave.
Yeah. Everything in here.
Leave and take care of you.
You may stay as long as you wish. In fact, you are not allowed to go. So it went for a few days, and then he said to her, "I have to go away and leave you alone for a short time. Here are the house keys.
But you're gonna get roommates."
Oh, Jimmy, little do you know. So he gives her the set of keys, and he says, here's the house keys. You may go wherever and look at everything. Go in every room except for the one room that this little key here unlocks. I forbid you to go there on penalty of death. And that will actually lead us to our first fairy tale trivia. All right.
So wait, this is Saw number 1, right?
This might be the first Saw. Yeah, 1812. So as we, again, if you've never checked out the show before, this is Blunts Upon a Time, so we like to get stoned while we're doing this. So for our first fairy tale trivia question, we'll go ahead and light up our first joint. There you go, Denzel. And you can give that over to JoJo, because we always let our guests go first on the first fairy tale trivia question. So for those of you following along, you guys here can see it up on the screen. Oops, wait a minute. Don't look at that. Just kidding.
Do it.
All right, let me...
Don't do it.
Don't look at the question.
So if you-
Don't look in the room.
Look into the other way.
Do not fraternize with Hogan.
So if you guys can see up there...
I love it. Hogan's Heroes reference. I see nothing.
Yeah, I hope we have some older listeners like us. Our
Germans.
age.
It made Nazis look fun.
Yeah, I know.
Did it?
Who
Honestly,
else?
I feel really young not knowing what the fuck
Hogan's
you guys are
Heroes.
talking-
That's good. You should.
Don't ever
No.
watch that show.
So, yeah, as you guys can see up there now for the first fairy tale trivia question. So, the old man has given his first daughter, he's kidnapped, these keys. Said, you go anywhere you want except this one room. All right? Wait a minute. Is that the first? Hold on.
John's already stoned. Sorry about that.
No. That's right. Okay, I remember now. Yeah, we're good. Yep.
All
right. So let me
It
just
has
reset.
a 1 next to it if that helps.
No. Yes. I thought I hadn't. Okay, I remember now. All right.
What's
so,
that number that touches 1, not 2? 0.
Zero.
Right.
So anyway, let me reset here. All right, so the first fairy tale trivia question for the Fitcher's bird, and JoJo, we'll let you go first there. You're smoking, so you're ready to go. So the daughter was given these keys, said you can go in any room, and now she's about to be given a second item. We're going to find out. So the question is, what was the second item, in addition to the keys to every room, was the daughter given before the guy left his house? So yeah, go ahead and throw the glasses on if you want there, JoJo. Was the second item A, an egg, B, a goose, C, a mirror, or D, a brooch?
Oh, man. I don't know why. It seems like most fairy tales seem to like geese.
Yeah, and there are geese, certainly. There's very well-known geese.
Yeah, and it
pop
says
up all the
Fitcher's
time.
sure.
Fitcher's bird. So
I
I'm
was
going
gonna
with
say
I'm
that
gonna
for
go
sure.
with goose.
Okay, all right. So, and just to remind everyone, we do keep points and determine a winner for fairy tale trivia, but you are awarded nothing, so there's really nothing at stake here, but, other than bragging rights, and you don't want to be one of the few people that actually loses to Jimmy. So, you think...
It can happen.
Yeah, it can. So, JoJo, you think it's a goose?
I think it's a
makes
goose,
sense
yeah.
from what you said? Okay. Denzel, what do you think the answer is? Do you think she was given A, an egg, B, a goose, C, a mirror, or D, a brooch?
Fuck, man, this is a random guess. Man, I you know what? I'm gonna ride with a guess on this one. I'm gonna go goose.
You think it's a goose as
I
well?
have no meaning behind it except
Okay.
for I'll go
Jump
down
on the bandwagon?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no worries.
Because if
Yeah.
he's randomly right, then I'll be, I'll
Worst
have
you
a
can
point up
yeah.
on Jimmy.
Worst is you
If
can
not,
both be
we'll-
tied at 0.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and then so
Because I know Jimmy's. I don't know why, but I feel like Jimmy's not picking goose.
not okay. Well, so let's find out.
Now I have to be contradictory.
Yeah.
You've painted him into a nice corner. Way to Jedi mind trick him. Good job.
Right.
All right, so Jimmy, what do you think the second item was? Was it A, an egg, B, a goose, C, a mirror, or D, a brooch? And even though I'm not answering, if you could hand that joint to me, I'll go ahead and take my turn.
Quick side question. He just gave her the keys to
Yes.
everywhere.
Every room in the house,
Yeah.
other
Right.
than, but said she couldn't go
not,
into one.
But not outside?
well, presumably she has the key,
Can I-
but he says you can't leave.
Yeah.
So
There's a guard tower right outside the door.
Right.
Yeah.
obviously he's
you
not
get-
concerned with locking her in. He's
Yeah,
just saying on your honor, I'll find out if
He's
you
a
go out.
wizard. He probably has a moat.
He is a
anyway,
wizard.
so
He might.
like-
Who knows? He might have
It's probably
security
like fucking
films, yeah.
alligators outside. Hey, yeah, go ahead wherever you want.
Yeah, so he's a poor sorcerer. He's a poor sorcerer. So he's gonna leave a mirror so that he's gonna be able to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, I mean
Through
that has
magic.
been used in other fairy tales for
Yeah.
security. Yeah, all right.
With magic, motherfucker.
All right. Magic. So Jimmy thinks it's magic, motherfucker.
And the answer is
We'll get there.
okay. Did he say where he was going?
Not yet. I don't
Roommates.
believe he said he was leaving. I think he
he's-
does eventually, but he
He's
hasn't
like,
yet.
yeah, I just got to run some errands. Don't worry about,
Just
about
going
where I'm
out
going.
to commit certain deeds.
I'll be back when I get back.
Going to Aldi. Can I get you anything?
I'll be at where I'm at.
Continuing, let's find out the answer to our first fairy tale trivia. And just to recap, JoJo and Denzel both said they think it was the goose, and Jimmy thinks it was a mirror. So continuing on with the story, the old man's given her the keys, says you can go in any room, but do not go into that one room on penalty of death. He then... It continues, he also gave her an egg, saying, so no one got that one right. It was actually an egg, so
Well, the
0
goose laid
points.
the egg, so we get a
Yeah,
half point.
right.
Yeah.
All right, and
Actually doesn't specify what kind of egg it is. So
if
we
this
can
egg
speculate.
is safe at the end of the week, you can have that puppy.
Yeah, right. So, Jimmy, you're not too far off. So he also gave her an egg, saying, take good care of this egg. You should carry it with you at all times, for if you should lose it, great misfortune would follow. So, yeah, he kind of he doesn't necessarily say she's going to get a puppy, but he does threaten her if anything goes wrong with this egg.
I'm starting to like this kidnapping sorcerer less and less.
Yeah, right. So she took the keys and the egg and promised to take good care of everything. As soon as he had gone, she walked about in the house from top to bottom, examining everything. The rooms glistened with silver and gold, and she thought that she had never seen such splendor. Finally...
She thought. She couldn't be sure.
No, sure, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anything this badass.
One other time I was kidnapped.
It
Seemed it was like a nice place.
They all start to run together after a while, honestly.
I'd have to see his basement.
Yeah.
Well, again, Jimmy, stop alluding to things.
Oh, dude.
So finally, she came to the forbidden door, maybe going to a basement. She wanted to pass it by, but curiosity gave her no rest. She examined the key. It looked like any other one. She put it into the lock and twisted it a little, and then the door sprang open. What did she see when she stepped inside? And that will lead us to our second fairy tale trivia. Yeah, so go ahead and whoever's got it, we got a new one? Yeah, cool. We'll get that. So Denzel, you can go first since you've got it in your hand. So we now know that she's gone into the forbidden room. So what is she going to find in there? It's, could be anything at this point in the story. So Denzel, we'll let you go first. I believe you can see it up there. All right. So what did the daughter find in the forbidden room? And just to remind everybody, we've got zeros across the board going into question number 2. So what did she find in the forbidden room? Was it A, piles of ladies' clothes? B, bloody human body parts.
Assuming in piles.
Yes, piles, I suppose, yeah. C, piles of ladies' hair. Or D, lady prisoners, like just a bunch of ladies locked up.
Again, assuming in piles.
Yes, locked up in piles. But, alive, presumably, is that what that answer is. Like,
right.
They're captive, they're not dead.
I'm saying he's still got him captive in there.
Okay.
Like, yeah, he's been
Because,
kidnapping
they've definitely
chicks,
alluded that he's been picking off girls for a while.
Yeah, I don't think he killed them all. I don't think it was like that crazy, but I think they're still just chilling up in there. So I'm going to say D.
So you think he's got a bunch of lady prisoners?
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead to you next, Jimmy. What do you think it was? Do you think it was A, piles of ladies' clothes, B, bloody human body parts, C, piles of ladies' hair, or D, lady prisoners?
I'm going with piles of hair.
Okay.
Quite
You think he's
honestly.
chopping off their hair, ditching the rest of the bodies, and just keeping that as trophies?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. This
I hear that's what serial killers like to do.
Well, honestly, like the Grimm brothers got all fucking weird with that story of the mother.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
chopping off different body parts.
They
of
were,
her
yeah,
just to
yeah.
fucking scare kids, and I think they're gonna keep doing it in
Hair?
this. So
Okay.
yeah,
A pile of hair? I mean, that would be a good forbidden room. Don't go into my room with a pile of hair in it.
I don't feel like explaining it to you.
All right, and so we'll go last but not least to our guest, JoJo. What do you think that she found in the room? Was it piles of ladies' clothes, bloody human body parts, piles of ladies' hair, or lady prisoners?
Nothing good happened in here.
No, again, if anybody's listened before, that's often a common theme in Grimm Brothers and German fairy tales.
If it was pubic hair, I'd go with that.
Oh, wow. All right. I guess I didn't specify. It could be lady pubes. That's
I'm
true.
gonna go with, for some reason, he's got piles of ladies' clothes because he likes to dress up like a woman.
Oh, we got a
he's going
Silence of the
Buffalo
Lambs.
Bill.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm sex? Would you fuck me?
What was it, Buffalo Bill?
He's kind
Yeah,
of
Silence
Buffalo
of the
Bill.
Lambs.
Yeah.
Yes, Buffalo Bill. Yeah.
kind of an 1812 Buffalo Bill, if you will.
I'm crying, cry. All right. So we'll get back to that.
Well,
Except,
she's
you know,
gonna see, she's going to see what's ever in there. Then she's instantly dead, right?
Well, we're going to get to that. So I'm not going to tell you that because we will be getting to that in the story. So, all right, give me one sec
Man,
here.
you think the threat of death would just squash your curiosity, wouldn't it? I know.
But I distracted her with the egg.
All right, so let's get
I've
back.
thought of everything to keep these.
Yeah, she's got an egg to distract her. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll
How
get
could
back
she
to the story to
possibly wanna go
determine
in that
again.
room?
We're at zeros across the board, and just to remind everybody, Denzel said that he thinks it was lady prisoners. Jimmy said he thinks it was a bunch of hair, and JoJo thought that it was
Clothes.
Clothes. Yeah. So we will get back to the story to determine the answer to fairy tale trivia number 2. What did she find in the forbidden room? So she opens the door, and what does she find? But a large bloody basin stood in the middle, inside which there lay cut up parts of dead girls. So nobody got it right. It was
went
cut up human
hard.
body parts. Yes,
Damn.
just a tub full of blood and human limbs.
Damn.
Quick
they went
quiz.
hard.
Yeah.
How many of us could identify for sure that it's all women?
Well, because he's been snatching up
What do you
daughters.
see him like a titty?
No. They said at the very
probably.
beginning that this guy just goes and snatches
Oh, I
up
thought
beautiful daughters. That's
thought-
all he does. Is
I thought
beautiful
she
girls.
figured out
That's
it was
his thing.
women's body parts.
Well, not
No.
necessarily, but yeah, no.
But
it's,
like, I mean,
yeah.
they are like it is what it is.
The first
like,
sentence was, "This is a dude that snatches up beautiful girls."
Yeah.
So that's
Like
So we
whether
can-
she knew she was seeing what she was seeing, she was seeing what she was.
Actually,
seeing.
it said
We
right
can
here.
only assume
Yeah.
she took a peek of sweet teat meat. And
Saw some nipple.
She might be a forensic pathologist. You don't know.
Right.
So,
She can instantly identify DNA.
yeah.
No, they had magical powers.
She can identify TNA.
Okay, so
Wait, hold on. I got something for that.
You're way too.
All right, there
proud
we go.
of
All
yourself
right,
for
yeah.
that.
All right,
Yeah, you know what?
so-
I got something else for that. Yeah, there we go. Now we got it covered.
all right, pile of body parts.
Pile of body parts,
She saw
right.
tramp stamp. These are chicks.
Yeah, hey, I recognize that.
And there's
All
a
right.
hole, right?
No, they're in a
Yeah.
basin. Well, basin. Yeah, some kind of basin. So, cut up body parts of dead girls. Nearby, there was a wooden block with a glistening axe lying on it. She was so terrified that the egg, which she was holding in her hand, fell into the basin. She got it out again and wiped off the blood, but it was to no avail, for it always came back. She wiped and scrubbed, but she could not get rid of the stain.
And the Grimm brothers really felt this was a story.
Yeah, there's a great story for children. Yeah. So now,
Oh, there's a moral.
yeah, yeah.
I was just,
We'll
And
get
it's
to that.
finish
at the
your
end.
goddamn breakfast
Right.
before you go to school.
I mean, that's as important a lesson as any. Those Germans want to be big and strong for something they got planned in about 100 years.
For a thing
A thing.
later.
A certain, thing. So not long after. So anyway, she wiped and scrubbed to try to get this blood off the egg, but she could not get rid of the stain. So not long afterwards, the man returned from his journey, and he immediately asked for the key and the egg. She handed them to him, shaking all the while, for he saw from the red stain that she had been in the blood chamber.
The blood
It
chamber.
refers to it as the blood chamber.
It probably sounds better in German.
Yeah, right. You got to
If
remember this is
it's-
originally a German, so the blood chamber. Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's it's innocent.
German, Dutch, Bluten. Or something.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
like-
You know,
Right.
it's like a Mortal Kombat game mode and
It
shit.
is in every.
Blood chamber. Like if you hit start when Noob Saibot pops up, yeah, toasty.
It is in every home.
I just picture a German real
Everyone-
estate agent.
Yo,
Yeah,
you don't have
here's
a
your
blood chamber?
Now wait a minute, Hans. You assured us there was a fully functional blood chamber. Ah, yes, it is to the next door. Hold on, it is the forbidden key. I must find it.
Well, they did have gas chambers later. So there's that.
Full disclosure, you
They
know.
love chambers. Those Germans love chambers.
They do love chambers. You're right. Wow, foreboding.
The blood isn't working. We have to think of another.
She vented anyway.
I'm going to go ahead and continue now. We may be going on a
God.
tangent, but that's not going to lead to anything good. So, you went into that chamber against my will. Again, unprecedented for Germans. He said, and now against your will, you should go into it once again. Your life is finished.
This dude's got to loosen up on his rules, man.
Right.
like,
One strike.
Got loosened up all the way around.
Yeah.
He's a little tense.
So he threw her down,
An
grabbed her.
uptight German?
Yeah, that's strange. we are not an angry people, but even we have our limits. So he threw her down, dragged her by her hair into the chamber, cut off her head on the block, then cut her up into pieces, and her blood flowed out onto the floor. Then he threw her into the basin with the others.
huh.
Yeah. Pay attention, children. Now I will go get the second one, said the sorcerer. And again, disguised as a poor man, he went to their house begging. The second
Back to the.
same house.
Same
Yeah. He's getting the
house?
second one, 3 daughters, remember?
And Dad's not answering the door.
No, apparently he's off at work or something. So the second sister brought him a piece of bread, and as he had once done to the first one, he captured her by merely touching her and carried her away. It went with her no matter.
Talking for a living.
All right, that's right on par for the course. My brain usually decides to melt down about this
You were
point.
going so hard though for a little bit.
I was, but again, as you know, as we've alluded to, we get really stoned when we do this, and here we
was-
go. All right, so
It just always stumbles.
yes, I know. Like, and I have such a great stride going, like you mentioned, and it looks so beautiful, like a gazelle, just in a perfect gait, and then just
Oh, okay.
Well, even gazelles
several
bite it,
rolls. Yeah, oh yeah, it's majestic in the biting as much as the running. So, all right. It went with her no better than it had gone with her sister. She let herself be led astray by her curiosity, opened the blood chamber, and looked inside. I feel like if there was a sign on the door that said blood chamber, maybe
This would be so much easier.
It wouldn't even be
Like
tempting.
if you would just say, "Hey, don't go to the
go in
blood,
the blood
chamber.
chamber.
Oh, that's
You
what
got
that
it.
is.
Yeah,
I
no
thought it was the
thanks.
other bathroom.
Yeah, like it's only the blood chamber once a month.
Aww. Yeah, you could probably fix it just
Is that
by
like the
putting
red tent?
He said the bathroom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you could just put a men's room sign on it, and all
Yeah.
the women would be like, "Oh no."
No. All right. So she let herself be led astray by her curiosity, opened the blood chamber, and looked inside. When he returned, she paid with her life. So yeah, just cut to the murder.
Fast forward.
Fast forward to
Just
murder.
as dumb as the first one.
Right.
Still waiting for a Fitcher and a bird.
I don't even worry. We'll get there. That's just a reminder. This is the Fitcher's bird.
We're going into a whole different space than birds and Fitchers.
Oh, don't you worry. We'll get you there. Okay. So he returned. He returned. She pays with her life. Then he went and captured the third sister, but she was clever and sly.
Except, she got kidnapped.
Well, I mean, all you had to do was touch her. So yeah, she couldn't. No matter how smart you are, you
You
gotta
just
be. Yeah.
not open the door.
So
'Cause,
after-
you just lost your other two sisters to what? Opening
Yeah.
the door.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
like
she didn't
the
know that.
simple. Like
So after he had given her the keys and the egg, he had gone away. She carefully put the egg aside and then examined the house, entering finally the forbidden chamber. So she is at least like, look, I'm going to go in this chamber, but you know what? He said he didn't want any harm to come to the egg, and I have no idea what's going to go on there. He kind of said it sounded dangerous, so I'm just going to leave the egg outside. So she's kind of smart in that respect. So she goes into the forbidden blood chamber. Oh, what she saw. Her two dear sisters were lying there in the basin, miserably murdered and chopped to pieces. And that will lead us to our third fairy tale trivia. So yeah, Jimmy, you kind of had a feeling of what was going on there. Good job, sir. Oh yeah, Jimmy, we'll go ahead and let you go first this time for fairy tale trivia, the last and third fairy tale trivia question, which is important because everybody still has 0. It's anybody's ball game. So even though you win nothing, any of you still has the opportunity to win that nothing.
Technically, he had to do something with their clothes before he killed them. So
Yeah, but they weren't in that room.
it's true.
Yeah.
All right.
And just to be fair, we have...
You're thinking of the laundry room.
Yeah, right. Not the blood chamber. Yeah.
Because why not after you kill somebody clean their clothes?
It probably had the laundry room was probably
Well,
adjacent to the
might have
blood
blood on
chamber. Good planning would put it next door, but yeah. So just to remind everybody, nobody gets anything for winning, but you don't want to lose to Jimmy. So there is still something hanging here.
Yep.
We on the line. We've got some bragging rights. So everybody's at 0. So this is an impactful question. Third and final fairy tale trivia question. Jimmy gets to go first. He's lit up. He's ready to go. What did the third daughter do when she found her sisters in the murdered and chopped up state as she did? Did she A, as you guys can see here up on screen, did she A, run out screaming, B, grab the parts and put them back together, C, start praying for help, or D, attack the wizard?
I know how these things go, and I'm going for the win. She's going to start praying.
Praying to God.
Praying to God.
She's praying to God. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a very Christian overtone in most of these. Certainly, the Grimm brothers oftentimes
Seemingly
have that.
out of nowhere.
And
it's always like,
Either
and because
you
they-
deserve this because God hates you, or you
Right.
got saved because God loves you. Okay.
When did we start talking about God?
All right, so Jimmy, you think she immediately just drops to her knees, like, oh, God, help me, my sisters. Okay. So you think it's C. We'll go to Denzel next. We'll let our guest go last here. We'll give him that honor. So, Denzel, what do you think she did when she found her sisters in that terrible state? Did she, A, run out screaming? Take as much time as you need, JoJo? I get it,
I'm
buddy.
sorry, it went the wrong way.
That's
but-
all
I'm
right.
sorry.
Water can be very hard
I'm
sometimes.
just making sure I don't have to
And just, we haven't mentioned
do
it
any
yet, but,
life-saving procedures.
It is Halloween time, so that's why we got the bowl of candy. I mean, there's never a bad idea or a bad reason to have a bowl of candy, but it's not just because we're stoners. It is Halloween time, as you probably guessed from the decorations and things. So help yourself to as much candy as you guys want. What do you think she did when she found her sisters? Did she A, thank you, Jenny, run out screaming, B, try to put the parts back together, C, start praying for help, or D, just attack the wizard?
It's between doing some magical shit by putting them back together.
But she's not all the horses and all the king's men.
Right? I mean, it's
Oh.
not Dumpty.
Or
Right.
She
Humpty
gives
though
the
he was.
wizard. She gives the wizard.
See, words
Yeah.
are hard sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
You got me.
Like I'm not the only
Yeah,
one.
the wizard gets those hands.
Wizard.
I'm thinking.
Oh, he's gonna get some hands. He's
I
gonna catch hands.
think it's. She puts them back together.
Do you think she tries to put the Humpty back together? All the
Yeah.
king's okay.
Just because, like, I don't know if like screaming's gonna help. Because
Well,
like if it would have, why the fuck were you there?
I'd
in the
make
first
one
place?
giant, big super sister.
Yeah.
Like Transformers, like Decepticons unite. Constructicons.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
like-
Constructicons. Yeah. All right. So, good news. We have 3 different answers. Everybody's at 0. So this could be huge.
Did JoJo go?
Oh no, we haven't gone to Joey yet. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry, Jimmy. You said
No, wait. What did you
yeah.
think happened?
I thought I spoke to Joy. I don't know. I'm a little stoned. So Jimmy said, praying, Denzel, you think she tried to reassemble her sisters? All right. And so last but
know
not
what you
least,
think JoJo said.
I don't know. Clearly, I'm not showing our
We
guest
have
respect and
different
listening to
answers.
anything. Is he even
Jimmy
still here?
said
I haven't been
something,
paying attention. Yeah.
Denzel said something, and JoJo.
And JoJo, yeah, whatever.
All right, sorry.
All right. So, yeah, JoJo, what do you think that she did upon finding her sisters? Do you think she ran out screaming? B, tried to put the parts back together? C, started praying for help? Or D, attacked the wizard?
I don't know. So I'm going to go with what I want to happen. I want her to wait for that fucker and just kick his ass when
Oh,
he comes
just out
back.
of rage.
Yeah. Yep.
Just, there is such
Just
a thing
like-
as fairy tale rage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just
a
like-
very real thing.
Yeah, it catches those hands.
Yeah, I get why Denzel wanted to say that as well.
Right.
All right, so let's go ahead and find out. Again, everybody's at 0 going into this, so this is impactful. So let's find out the answer to fairy tale trivia and perhaps if someone is going to walk away with an undisputed victory this week. So the third sister, gets into the room, sees all her sisters minced up and murdered there. So, in spite of seeing this, she proceeded to gather their body parts together, placing them back in order. Denzel wins!
Denzel!
Congratulations!
Yeah.
All right, so help yourself to some candy there, Denzel, as a victory.
Oh, I mean,
you-
I don't want any candy.
All right,
but,
even better.
Yeah, no.
More for me.
just
My
just
fat
because
ass.
yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Yes, Frank and sister.
They did she decided to Frankensister her sisters. So Denzel wins with a score of 1-0.
Is that
and,
fitching?
we shall see. Don't worry, we're gonna get there.
That's how
so,
she knew how to do that.
yeah, in spite of this grisly, scene,
She's
she
the
proceeded
Fitcher.
to. Yeah,
What a
she's-
twist.
So she gathers her parts together, places them back in order: head, body, arms, and legs. Then, when nothing else was missing, the parts began to move. They joined together, and the two girls opened their eyes and came back to life. Rejoicing, they kissed and hugged one another, and then had a pillow fight. And no.
Puts it back to you like
just and she didn't even sew them back together. She just kind of arranged
I got this.
putty.
Don't you want to
like
see the instructions? Get those out of my fucking face.
I know
how
what
to-
my sisters
I know
look
how to
like.
put a sister together. Yeah, so they rejoiced, hugged, and kissed each other. The pillow fight wasn't real. I made that up in my mind.
Still kind of bloody.
Yes. So when the man returned home, he immediately demanded the keys and the egg. And when he was unable to detect any trace of blood on them, he said, "You've passed the test. You shall be my bride."
Oh, what a gift.
Yeah, right, you win.
No.
I mean, if it's that or get
thank
dismembered,
you.
I mean, yeah, right? So he now had no more power over her and had to do whatever she demanded. So, all right,
wait,
yeah, there's
so-
some weird dynamic shit. Like, you got to marry me, but I become your slave. It's this. Maybe this isn't Germany. Maybe it's America after all.
Rules are just flexing all the time. You
So,
threatened her with death, didn't
Yeah.
you? She opened the door.
yeah.
He cut up her other sisters,
Yeah.
and it was like, all right, now let's get hit.
Yeah, still hasn't addressed the fact that those dead sisters are alive
She
again.
can do
Yeah.
whatever she wants to him.
Yeah, that's apparently. Yeah, she has power over him. He has to do whatever she demanded.
I know what
Good,
I'd do.
she answered. But first, you must take a basket full of gold to my father and mother. You yourself must carry it there on your back. In the meanwhile, I should make preparations for our wedding.
How high was Hans when he, or the Brothers Grimm? when they
Brothers
wrote
Grimm,
this?
Jacob and Wilhelm.
This thing's all over the place, man.
This is in 1812, so I mean, maybe they're
Baskets
just
Fuck,
full of
wow.
gold now.
stupid. Yeah, whatever. So
This is one of the B movies.
yeah,
of its
the B
time.
tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a
There's
B
been-
track cut. B
Yeah,
side
like
cut.
even Spielberg's had a couple bad movies. I get it. All right,
I
Right.
disagree.
I get it. All right.
This is the killer
Avatar
clowns from
was-
outer space.
you're right. It was awful. All right. So she sends him off. She he goes off and she's like, I'm going to make preparations for the wedding. So as soon as she's gone, then she ran to her sisters, whom she had hidden in a closet, and said, the moment is here when I can rescue you. The evildoer himself shall carry you home. As soon as you have, or he hasn't left yet, he's preparing, I guess. So as soon as you have arrived home, send help to me. So she put them both in a basket, then covered them entirely with gold so that nothing could be seen of them. Then she called for the sorcerer in and said...
Smothered them.
Yeah, yes, basically, yeah.
Like gold's not light.
It's not light, no, but...
No, they're way down.
This is Germany in 1812. These might be beefy women. You never know. They can handle it. So... Then she called the sorcerer in and said, now carry this basket away, but you are not to stop and rest underway. Take care, for I shall be watching you through my little window. So she's flipped the dynamics. Like, now I'm going to be keeping an eye on you. Better do what I tell you. So the sorcerer lifted the basket onto his back and walked away with it. However, it pressed down so heavily on him that the sweat ran from his face. He sat down, wanting to rest, but immediately one of the girls in the basket called out, I am looking through my little window, and I can see that you are resting. Walk on. He thought that was his bride calling to him, so he got up again. Then again, he wanted to sit down, but someone immediately called out, I'm looking through the little window, and I can see you're resting. Walk on.
Everyone's a moron in this.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There are no rocket surgeons
So
in this
they're
group.
rooting for this guy.
No. They're trying to get home. They don't know. He doesn't know he's smuggling the daughters home.
Right,
He
but is it the
believes-
rule he can't rest?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they're telling him, get up off your ass and
Okay.
keep
Yeah.
moving, and they're fooling him into thinking it's his one in the tower. Yeah. So they're trying to keep it moving so they get home as quickly as possible before
right,
they
I'm
discover
high.
him in there. Yeah. Hey, that's.
Yeah.
We often
a little
recap, not only for the people in this room, but for everyone following along, because we do encourage you to try to get as high as us as we do that. Every time that they stopped walking, someone called out, and he had to walk on until, groaning and out of breath, he brought the basket with the gold and the two girls at their parents' house. At home, the bride was making preparations for the wedding feast.
Like, we're still going through with this. Like, I just want you to
Keep
bring
up the
my
charade.
guests.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's an
Like-
honorable
Like,
woman.
we're
yeah.
gonna have a wedding and
Yeah.
a reception and everything, and afterwards I'm gonna murder
Like,
you.
I'm
and
working
my
on these
family's gonna move in this house.
RSVPs. Yeah.
So
Well, she wants all the dowry still. I get it. Yeah,
like,
it's
I
worth
mean,
it.
We're gonna
All
do
right.
this.
So
This is where Game of Thrones got the idea for the red wedding.
It really was.
Yeah.
They already have a blood chamber. So at home, the bride was making preparations for the wedding feast, to which she had the sorcerer's friends invited. Then she took a skull with grinning teeth, adorned it with jewelry and with a wreath of flowers, carried it to the attic window, and let it look out. So basically, she put like a bride veil, made it look like a bride's, head sitting in the window.
Out of a skeleton?
A skull.
A skull.
Yeah,
They
a
were
skull.
around.
Yeah. There's a blood chamber after all.
It's her blood chamber now.
Yeah,
Well, it's half
it's
hers.
about to be half her blood chamber.
Now it's not the time to be putting up Halloween decorations.
Well,
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, you never know. Maybe she's got she's planning something. She's clever, remember?
Now I'm interested to see where this goes.
There you go. So when everything was ready, she dipped herself into a barrel of honey, then cut open the bed and rolled around in it until she looked like a strange bird and no one would have been able to recognize her. So she basically honey and feathers herself.
What?
Then she walked out of the house.
Is that like a primitive tar and feathering?
Yeah, it's the same thing, but with honey and feathering.
So
exact
the
same
animals
thing.
would lick you. That would.
Well, we're getting there. Hold on, boys. So underway, some of the wedding guests met her. She's all, in this disguise now. And they asked, you, Fitcher's bird, where are you coming from? The Fitcher's bird. Remember, that's the title of the story,
Why
guys?
is she a Fitcher's bird?
Yeah.
Don't know.
What is a Fitcher's?
No idea.
Not
Didn't do the
address this.
research.
They
Somebody,
did-
hey,
Just
like
out of
and like and subscribe our YouTube channel and leave a message and tell us what the fuck a Fitcher's bird is, please.
What?
Thank you.
Is that like
Yeah.
a breed?
Don't know. Actually, we're gonna get a little bit more exposition. So she's dressed up. The guests run into her. The guests think she's a Fitcher's bird. So they say, "You, Fitcher's bird, where are you coming from?" She responds, "I am coming from Fitcher's house." So apparently, Fitcher is a person or a thing. Now again, German names. I'm Hauser. We were people that built houses. So
Fitcher
maybe
does
a
sound
Fitcher's
German,
or
yeah.
something. There's to Fitch. I don't know. You're a Fitcher.
This
Yeah.
is a Fitcher's house.
I'm coming from the Fitcher's house. Yes, it was made by the houses. So she says, I'm coming from the Fitcher's house. And they respond, what is his young bride doing there? I don't know why. They think that the bride is in the Fitcher's house. She has swept the house from bottom to top, and now she is looking out of the attic window. Finally, her bridegroom met her. He was slowly walking back home, and he, like the others, asked, "You, Fitcher's bird, where are you coming from?" "I am coming from the Fitcher's house." And then he points up at the tower and says, "Well, what is my bridegroom doing, or my young bride doing up there?" And the Fitcher's bird responds, "She has swept the house from top to bottom, and now she is up in the attic window."
And how
looking
the
out.
fuck does this Fitcher bird know?
Doesn't matter. So,
Apparently, a Fitcher's bird is a bird that can speak.
yeah,
Much like a parrot.
right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. She's in the window.
It's like human-sized bird
Yeah.
that you obviously
Everybody-
can talk.
It's Big
Everybody
Bird. Yeah,
just-
it's like Big Bird. It's German Big Bird.
Everybody knows it's just this chick that just rolled around in feathers. Like,
They're questioning why the bride's looking out the window,
They had
but they
some
don't
good-
question why
they had
there's a
some-
giant bird.
They had some good edibles at this
Oh.
wedding reception.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
no doubt they had shrooms.
Yeah,
in
all
the
right.
forest.
So the bridegroom looks up to the window, seeing the decorated skull. He thought it was his bride, and he waved a friendly greeting to her. After he and all his guests had gone into the house, the bride's brothers and relatives arrived. Remember the cavalry that she sent her sisters for?
Sure.
So now they've come back. They had been sent to rescue her. After closing up all the doors of the house that no one could escape, they set it afire, and the sorcerer, together with his gang, all burned to death. The end.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the hell happened?
Yeah.
Yep.
They just fucking,
That's
just got them all in there.
No.
Yeah.
This is where
Lit
that
'em on
ending
fire.
came from. I don't know
Yeah.
how to wrap this shit up. I'm just going to burn everybody. No,
Yeah.
wait. That's so fucked up because her sisters were in there, right?
No. She
Oh.
sent her sisters, smuggled them out. They got the cavalry, which just came back, and that's why she dressed up as a bird, left the skull. She's like, "Oh, that's your bride up there inside."
I'm
All the
just a
guests.
fucking bird.
And
Blah, blah,
again,
blah, blah.
she specifically invited his wizard friends, so other bad people in
homies.
the fairy tale universe. So got them all in one room and like
Let that
Inglorious
puppy out.
Bastard
All right.
style.
Okay.
Like I think this is where Tarantino got his idea for Inglorious Bastards,
Like,
because that's
like-
literally what they're like. Get them all in there, close the doors, and lit the motherfucker on fire. Yeah, killing them all. Burned to death.
Yeah, that's a classic move. Try to get all the bad
Yeah.
guys in the room and then blow
So
it up.
we've alluded to it already. Let's go ahead and wrap that up. As I said, this was a tale by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm in 1812 Germany. Fairy tale in a collection of fairy tales for children. So what do you think they were trying to teach children with this fairy tale? What do you think the moral is? So anybody want to volunteer to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead, JoJo. What do you think
Moral
the
of the story is, yes, innocent people have to die to kill the bad guy.
Yeah.
Much like
All right.
Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah,
there were
that's true.
some people there that night just to watch the
And they
goddamn
knew
movie.
they were going to die.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's people
Yeah.
who just wanted to go to a wedding.
Maybe.
They're like,
That's fair.
open-
Yeah,
open
that could
bar.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Gotta have
having
a couple drinks.
Yeah, some of those was just
Yeah.
probably like, you know, I was like, yeah, I know the dude. Like, I was invited to a wedding. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
might
I'll
not have
tell
been
you
a
right
bad
now,
wizard.
if you tell me that in 1812 Germany they're trying to teach the kids the value of collateral losses,
Right, that's
yeah,
what-
I'd
that's
say
what-
that
yeah,
that makes perfect
right.
Yeah.
sense with the hindsight of
Because in both World War I and II, they
Two.
were very much about collateral damage.
What do you think? We'll go around the table, Denzel. What do you think the moral
Nah,
of
I
the story
think this
was?
is this classic fuck around and find out. Like,
Yeah, all right,
no,
yeah.
I mean, the wizard was a bad guy. Just
Yeah.
went around kidnapping chicks and like
Yeah.
with like stupid tests to be like, oh, wonder if I'm like trying to figure out who's gonna marry. It's like you could just ask.
Yeah.
No, he's
Yeah.
like, no, you got to run through this little test real quick.
Yeah.
And if not, I get to fucking chop off your fucking head.
Yeah.
And then I just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And like in the whole, and on top of that, all the sisters like.
Well, and to your point,
All the sisters were dumb. The only the difference was the one chick fucking just left the egg.
Right.
Which is like, I still don't understand how
No, like-
both the first two chicks dropped the egg. Like, it doesn't, like,
oh,
that
I
ain't
can
even matter.
understand
You
how
still
they
open the
dropped an
door.
egg. They walked into the blood
Yeah.
chamber.
And still-
Like,
and
No, like,
still-
but why?
if I
yeah.
walk into a blood chamber today, I might drop an egg.
Yeah.
and trying to put your sisters back together like Legos, that's what a stupid person would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that is,
Well,
I don't give a shit that it works. That's something a dumb person would do.
1812 clever might be 2023 stupid. That's also a fair
Like, what do I
inflation
do?
rate. Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. Just put him back in. All right, fair enough. So you think the
So
story
clever.
was fuck around and find out?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, you know, the wizard
He had
paid
been
for
snatching them for years, and he finally got his
you know,
comeuppance.
It's like, all right, we got to get this motherfucker.
Nice. All right, Jimmy, what do you think? And then I'll go last. I like to participate in this one as well.
I think the moral is get really good at tag because you never know what could happen when a stranger touches you.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
That's-
if had he not the power to overcome them with a game of tag, none of this would.
Hey,
No.
No, bad touch.
what are you doing?
That's fair. All right, I'll give you that one. Be better at tag. I'm going to contribute on this, as I said, as I always do. I'm a little bit piggybacking on what Denzel said. Yeah, fuck around and find out. But yeah, I think that it was generally a tale of you can only get away with something for so long. You know what I mean? Like, don't be presumptuous and think that if you just, you know, keep running the same scam, you're going to continue to just get away with it. You know, eventually somebody's going to figure you out. You got to change up, you know, your style, your MO. Like, they'll catch up to you. You know what I mean? Go silent for a while. Keep them hanging.
Right? So all you serial killers out there.
Hey, those are the most popular podcasts. If we could suck some of that audience off.
Yeah, if you're gonna go out and murder, stop at one. Basically, is what you're saying.
Or you know, what, change up your routine from time to time. You know, don't leave a trail of breadcrumbs. Another grim, yeah.
To give advice,
Be a better
serial killer.
Yeah, like Dahmer never killed two guys from the same family.
No,
Right?
you changed
wouldn't
up
do that.
ethnicities,
Right, yeah.
ages,
Don't do that.
sizes, weights,
Same house
days
with
of the week.
same
You know,
trick.
or so I'm told. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for contributing. As I said, thank you again to JoJo Girard.
Thanks for having
Very
me.
funny guest. Yeah, we'll put all his information up here again on the screen for those of you watching on YouTube, so you can
And
see.
we'll put his address up there for all you serial killers.
Yes, bro, you still want to continue this discussion.
Burn my house down.
Yeah, all right.
Make sure you're good at tag.
Or vigilantes,
Yeah.
possible vigilantes too. Has someone murdered someone close to you? Blame this guy and go to his house.
Jesus.
No, don't do that. But no, we will put up where people can monitor all the great things I'm sure you'll have coming up. And again, please, if you could, go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, leave a comment. And even if you think we're dog shit or you want to come and find us and murder us, just leave a comment and subscribe so that we're worth something and they at least, you know, put us in the paper when you murder us.
Like, if you're saying shit and you forget, like, your address is my address. Like,
That's true. Yeah, but you're a formidable opponent. Like, I think they're going to go after me and their bloodlust will be satiated and then they'll leave and you'll be fine and you'll get what you wanted all along as well. All right. So again, thank you so much, JoJo, for coming out. Also, thank you to my friends and co-hosts, Denzel Whitehead, Jimmy Bain. As always, I think this was a lot of fun. This has been the tale of the Fitcher's Bird by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm in 1812. As I said, please go to our Instagram, our YouTube, Facebook, X, all that good stuff. Follow, subscribe, like. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. I'm Johnny Hauser. Have a good one.
I don't
is a Fitcher.
I don't even lock my blood chamber.
Right, like, yeah, you live in a nice community. I remember back when you didn't even have to lock your blood chamber. What is the world coming
You just
to?
wouldn't go in the chamber because I
respect.
said so.